Lexington, Kentucky was mostly drugs and guns. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There weren't a lot of white. I was one of the few like white collar criminals. I was the only counterfeiter there.
Really?
Well, actually, there was one guy that was counterfeiting checks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super rare for people to counterfeit that amount of bills, right? Like you said in the beginning of this that you were one of like how many that have served federal time for doing that?
Oh, there's a lot of people that have served time for counterfeiting, but most in the Secret Service told me this. They said they were like, these are the best bills we've seen in 25 years.
Really?
And he was like, the majority of all their counterfeiting cases are like, teenagers, just photocopying, and they don't look good, and they usually print $1,000 and then get caught, and then, you know what I mean? So
right.
There's not a lot of like professional counterfeiters out there.
Right.
I only know of like 2. Matt was saying he did the 12 years, and he said I think he's only met 1 or 2, and they were.
That's what he told me today. He's like, yeah, I've met 2 people ever that have done this,
and they were probably just photocopying bills. You know what I mean? So like, it's hard to print money because the printers recognize if you try to just print a bill, the printer will recognize it and it won't allow you to print. You know what I mean? So you can go into a photocopier machine and just make a copy, but then they're going to look horrible. You know what I mean? So I got around that by, instead of scanning the bill, because if you scan it, it'll just put some like penal code as to why you're not allowed to scan bill money or whatever. So I'd take a high-resolution camera and take a photo of it and then upload that photo and then adjust, go take it to Adobe Photoshop, the photo, and edit everything and layer it. I layered it into 3 different images. So when you went to print it, you weren't just printing one bill. So the printer couldn't recognize it. I'd print like just the background color. And then I'd print all the black work over it. And then I'd print the treasury seal and serial numbers. So it was multiple different prints.
You printed each layer separately.
Yeah. So the printer couldn't recognize that I was printing money. You know what I mean? So it kind of got around.
So how many layers total? And then so you would print how many layers of this Bible paper?
Well, I mean layers as in like digital.
Right.
Like on Adobe, I'd break it to 3 different pictures.
Right.
One was just the background color. Basically the front of the bills had 3 different prints. I'd print 3 times just for the front of the bill. Okay. And then the back of the bill, I did 2 prints. So just
on the same piece of paper.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So like you're just printing a background color first. So it's just that beige color of money. Mm-hmm. It's just a solid rectangle of that color. And then you put it back in the printer and print all the ink, the black stuff. And then put it through again and print the treasury seal and serial numbers. Mm-hmm. So there was 3 prints for the front, 2 prints for the back, and then 1 print for the strip and the watermark.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was tricky. I had to in order to print, because the Bible paper is too thin, it'll jam up in the printer. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you have to tape it onto a piece of regular printer paper. So it's, thick enough to go through and be printed on. Right. So, me and my wife would stay up all night just taping Bible paper to printing until we had a stack like this, you know what I mean? And then the next day we'd just run them all through and print them out. So it's hard to basically counterfeit. I mean, most people, when they found out the bills were fake or knew what I was doing, they'd instantly be like, I want, sell me $1 million worth. And it's like, each bill you're literally handcrafting. You know what I mean? Right. You're it's taking multiple prints, and then you got to cut them out, spray them with, if you spray too much Gorilla Glue, it'll fuck up and be too thick. If you don't spray enough, the pieces will separate. Mm-hmm. So, it became a fine art of, spraying just the right amount, gluing them together, making sure they're lined up, and then spraying the lacquer, a thick coat first, a thinner coat to give it that texture. You don't want to spray too much lacquer because then it'll be too thick. It won't feel right. So, I mean, it was a real, fine-tooth process of, getting them just right. But after doing it, after about 3, 4, 5 months, I got to where, it'd take me, I could probably make, a perfect counterfeit 100 in 10 minutes.
Really?
And so usually every day I'd make at least, even if nobody had any orders or anything, I'd make at least 25 bills, $2,500 every day. And that was just the money I needed to survive. You know what I mean? I was spending at least $2,500 a day on
Really?
Yeah.
On drugs?
Well, not all drugs, but and buy my drugs for the day. We had this nanny that was working for us that and hotel rooms, out to dinners.
$2,500 a day. That's a lot. You're like
Well,
the Tinder swindler.
No, I haven't seen that. I'd like to watch that.
Oh my God, it's fucking insane.
But you got to think 2,500 in counterfeit hundreds. Like, in order to bust that and convert it to real money, you're going and buying something for $10, $20. So you buy some worthless shit for $20 you don't need just to bust that bill.
Just to bust it, right?
So out of that 2,500, you're really getting a bunch of shit from Walmart and whatever that you may need, you may not need, or whatever. But so you're probably getting 2,000 out of that 2,500, even just spending them at stores.
Right.
So, but yeah, 2,000 a day was kind of my standard minimum amount of.
Has anybody ever, since you got out, has anyone asked you for any like custom artwork or something, or like
No.
custom artwork of currency?
I've had some people want me to start counterfeiting.
Again?
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
shit.
Oh, you can do, because they find out my story and find out, and they want me to sell them, but you should make more and sell them. But I'm not trying.
What have you? Do you still like run in the same circles? Like talk to the same people, or has it been like difficult to kind of like recalibrate your life since you got out?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sober now. I've been sober for like 2 years now, so I don't really associate with any of those people anymore. It was mostly just like drug dealers, and So.
Do you think you would have got? I mean, you probably wouldn't have got sober if you didn't go to prison, right?
Probably not. Probably not. I mean, honestly, it definitely helped. All around. It was for the best. I mean, I was kind of living a crazy life.
Yeah.
For a long time. So.
Has it been hard to adjust since you've gotten out? Like has it been difficult to like find a place to live, to get work, and like what's that been like?
Well, I just got out like 3 months ago. So.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. But luckily I found a good job, man. It's working at a print shop. So. Yeah. And I was honest with them up front. I told them, like, listen, I'm on, supervised release for counterfeiting, and, they're all cool guys where I work. So
I mean, obviously your skill with like graphic design, Photoshop, and that kind of shit, right? Did they respect that and be like, wow, you can actually like apply that to something useful?
And I've been in that trade. Like, I was in the sign business before, so signs and graphics are all pretty related. You know what I mean? So I've worked at a couple print shops, vinyl shops beforehand. So I've got experience in it on top of the, illegal experience. But yeah, they were, they hired me, and they're really cool, understanding if I have to, miss work to go to probation or whatever. They're all good, man. I really lucked out with that job.